Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Simracersworld TV. Got that intro nailed, haven't I? We are here at Brands Hatch this evening on the Grand Prix circuit for rounds 7 and 8 of the Simracersworld, the Sim Stickers Simracersworld Formula 3 series. I'm your host, Chaz Draycott, known to a lot of you as Chazlington. Looking forward to a lot of action this evening. As you can see, only 19 degrees, quite a bit humid, not very high winds here tonight. So these Formula 3 cars should not be too badly affected. We're going to have a look at what's going on track at the moment. Here is Frederik van Eekhoven, who's been a real star to watch recently. It's been good fun, to be honest, in a lot of these races. Dean Timms out there for Year 1 racing tonight. Doesn't seem to have sent his livery in, but all the same, these Formula 3 cars look great with a sort of privateer-esque sponsorless livery on, don't they? Look really good in my opinion. Just to run you through the championship standings then. Championship leader at the moment is this man. Oh, well, he's not going to lead a championship doing that, is he? Bart Daleman straight on into the wall there. A very popular second place, I'm sure. Josh Clogg. His fan club will be in the chat tonight, I'm sure, for Clog Champ. Hashtag Clog Champ. For Fiercely Forward, he is second in the championship, only 23 points behind Bart Daleman. He's only 8 points clear then of Christophe Herbigno. He was in the pits at the moment for SDL Esports by Logitech. He changed teams just after the first round. Fourth place is my Spanish friend Tito Granher for Banzu RX FLO, as Josh Clogg goes fastest. Van Eekhoven very quickly displaces him. You'll see on the left-hand side of the screen, and now at the top, there are two classes, Pro and Am. In the Am Championship, current championship leader is none other than Brian Loynes. And looking down the standings, no, Brian is here this evening, he's just not out on track at the moment. Second in the championship behind him is his teammate Paul Godden for Sim Stickers. Here he is. And third in the championship is Matthias Sabatini, who actually has a qualifying ban for this one due to an incident at Interlagos which he caused. And there's been the same for Lee Woodburn as well. Some of you may remember the pile-up at the start. We're going to go on board though with Wayne Palmer, who's just about to finish a lap, and he's going to show you around the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit, just in case you don't know it already. Into Paddock Hill Bend, very tasty corner is Paddock Hill, very, very hard to get right lap after lap. Into Druids on the brakes, turns it in. Back down the hill to Graham Hill Bend. Doesn't look that tricky, but to really get that apex nailed is a tough one. Down the Cooper Straight and to Surtees, another corner that's hard to get right. There's so many different lines through here that you can take. You can get a late apex, early apex, it all depends on what run you want. All the way down now, flooring it through, up the gears to Pilgrim's Drop, and then to Hawthorne Bend. Long right-hander, plenty of speed up the hill. And then into Westfield. Down through Dingle Dell, which used to be a chicane, up to Sheen's Curve. Amazing commitment there from these Formula 3 drivers. Palmer is second at the moment on the grid, through Stirlings. I say that, he's just got down to third. Camille van den Driesche goes second into Clearways and the Clark Curve. And back on to the Brabham Straight to complete a lap of the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit, and Palmer sticks to the inside. Surely that's a fast lap. It is, it's pole position. A 1:16.116. Great from Wayne Palmer for Sim Stickers Pro. Very well done indeed. He's going to be over the moon with that. Josh Clogg now down to second place. Vanden Wright is third. Oh, I'll tell you what though, Frederik van Eekhoven goes top, 1:15.8. Brilliant from Frederik van Eekhoven. We'll put the gaps on the left-hand side. Nicholson goes top now. Ross Nicholson with a 15.6. Half a second faster than Palmer. De Wolf goes into 9th place. Ben White up there in 6th for Year 1 racing. That's a livery that you're not going to miss in a hurry. Dean Timms is the top am at the moment in 8th place. Kevin Bolland is in 10th. I believe he's still in his pink Red Bull livery, is he? No, just looks like A different pink and black livery this week. Jack Werrell, my fellow commentator. We're going to be commentating together tomorrow evening. Don't forget the Simracersworld Porsche Sport event. 2 hours of Silverstone is tomorrow evening. Jack will be joining me in the commentary box for that. Really looking forward to that one. Simone Giovannini back out on track tonight for Prunaro team. Oh, we've got a car off the track. It is Paul Godden. And he's bent the suspension there. He's bent the front left. And he's going to stop the car and get out. Nick Shermans is out there for Simracersworld Formula 3. Number 19. As Frederik van Eekhoven goes top. Van den Wright went up to third. Frederik van Eekhoven, like I said, he's been amazing to watch. He just missed out on a win at Suzuka when he made contact with Josh Clogg. And Werrell has put it in a wall here. We'll embarrass him. We'll show you all what he's done. Oh, he's looped it completely. Oh, wow. He just doesn't want to stop, does it? There's Christophe Herbigno. Is that a surprise? Not really. Christophe Herbigno has been so fast in this series, taken a number of wins already. The only reason he's not leading the championship is because he didn't make one of the race meetings, to be honest. But he is so fast in the SDL Esports by Logitech livery. Looks great as well, that car. And it is certainly flying around Brands Hatch tonight. He's doing a great job. Palmer goes back up to third place. Look at the commitment through some of these. As Ross Nicholson, a 1:15 dead, goes fastest by a tenth. Can Christophe Herbigno outdo him? What are we reckoning? Doesn't look like it, no. Looks like that lap was invalidated. Look how fast they go through Paddock Hill. It's unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, even through Graham Hill Bend, these things are absolutely flying, aren't they? It's amazing to watch. Really amazing to watch. Thank you everybody for joining us, and of course for joining us on the Facebook page as well. We hope you all enjoy yourselves tonight. It's great to be broadcasting on there as well as the YouTube page. Just keeping an eye on Herbigno because he's just absolutely launching it around the circuit at the moment. I'm expecting him to go back to pole position very imminently. He's only got to gain a tenth and he's very good at doing just that. No, still doesn't look like it. Bit of a drift there on the exit of Druids. Ross Nicholson, though, is your pole sitter then. 1:15 dead for Sim Stickers Pro. Great job by him at the moment. Dries van den Wright is in third place for Data Wire Racing. Frederik van Eekhoven fourth for SROC Racing Forces. Josh Clogg is the top of the Fiercely Forward cars. Taylor Lane is actually down in 13th place at the moment. He is in the Pro class, though, which I should remind myself to change at this end. Taylor was very impressive in his first week in the championship at Suzuka. Straight into the AM class and, well, straight to the front of the field. He was really flying. If you do hear any typing, by the way, I'm just sorting out a few little bits in the background at this end just to make everything a bit smoother, because I've had a couple of issues with some of the what we call project files which is what holds all the driver information together within the broadcasting software that we use. And everything is now hunky-dory. You'll hear a little Windows noise. There it is. And we're golden. Absolutely golden now then. Christophe Herbignaud has gone top now by 11 thousandths of a second over Nicholson. They are almost 4/10 clear of Van den Ruyt. Good evening everybody in the chat. Good to see you all. I hope you are enjoying the stream. Hope everything looks okay. Hope we've got some nice tasty frame rate and decent quality as well. Hello everyone on the Facebook page. I will be trying to check out the chat there as well if anybody leaves any comments. But it's easier said than done, as you can imagine. Oh, a bit of a moment there for one of the Sim Stickers cars. Who was that? Properly went around there and straight back to the pits. That was Paul Godden. Let's have a look at what happened to Paul. Did he just... Oh, on the grass on the way in. Oh, unbalanced on the curb. Snaps the other way. And the damage model coming into effect there. Snaps the left rear. And the wing comes off as well. Only a few minutes left of this qualifying session then. We've got 4 Belgians. 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th at the moment. Christophe Herbignaud is the first of them. Look how fast Herbignaud goes around there. We'll go on board with him. Look at the commitment through Stirlings down towards Clearways. Around the final corner and on the throttle again. It's amazing watching some of these Formula 3 drivers get the most out of these cars. Oh, get the most out of the track as well. Running wide, Ross Nicholson is back up to the top, by the way. I did notice. Oh, Herbignaud's gone around now. But Ross Nicholson, only a 10th and a half quicker than Christophe Herbignaud. Here's Bart Daleman, championship leader in 3rd place. Ollie Slade is in the YouTube chat. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. Tim Rutten is now the top AM driver at the moment. He is ahead of Paul Godden, who is in the pit lane. Taylor Lane is just seeming to struggle at the moment, to be honest with you, is Taylor. He's not having the best of days so far. Frederick Van Eekhoven goes up to 4th place for SROC. Look at that through paddock hill, that's off. That's well and truly off, manages to miss the wall. No repairs needed. Josh Clogg is 8th at the moment. Is he going to improve in the dying seconds of the session? This will be him going on to his last lap now. 1:16.5, not his best time. Into Druids. Plenty of curb on the inside. Foot down. That's the end of qualifying. So this is going to be his final lap of the session. All over the place, that's going to be an off-track penalty. And that is going to mean that his lap will not count. He's going to keep going though. You may as well use it as some practice. Simone Giovannini slowing down. Stephen de Wolf also doing the same. Stephen Grabowski also slowing down. Here's Dries van den Ruyt. He must have started a lap at the right time. Jack Werrell has apparently gone off big time at turn 1. We'll have to have a look in a little bit, see what we can find. This is Dries van den Ruyt. Bart Daleman's about to come across the line as well. See what Bart can do. I think just behind him there is Van Eekhoven. Daleman stays 3rd. Van Eekhoven, I don't think his lap would have counted anyway. Here's Josh Clogg across the line. Clearly didn't work out for Van den Ruyt. He's given up on his lap. He's no longer on the circuit. can see just how well those Formula 3 cars stop. It's enough to make you sick. Honestly, they do just stop instantly. It's pretty crazy. That is the end of the qualifying session then. And in just a moment we should have a grid. Seems like quite a closely contested one though. Of course, Brands Hatch not the easiest of tracks to overtake around. So we're looking to have a heck of a lot of fun this evening. I hope you all enjoy yourselves. And thank you, of course, for joining me on this wonderful Thursday night. I don't want to talk about the lockdown, but I hope everybody is well, staying safe. It's not the easiest of times for everybody. Just waiting for the session to tick over now then, and we shall have the grid come up on the screen. Just want to say a quick thank you to the series sponsor Sim Stickers. There is the grid then. Ross Nicholson takes pole position from Christophe Herbignaud on the front row. Bart Delman is behind him in third, with Frederick Van Eekhoven in fourth. Then we have Nick Shermans and Dries van den Raat on row 3, Wayne Palmer and Josh Clogg row 4. Ben White is just ahead of Camille van den Driesche on the fifth row of the grid, rounding out your top 10. And Tim Rutten is the top AM driver ahead of Taylor Lane in 12th. We then have Paul Godden and Simone Giovannini, with Kevin Bolland and Dean Timms on row 8. Then it's Stephen de Wolf and Jack Werrell 18th, with Stephen Grabowski and Mathis Groen rounding out your top 20. Then we have Tito Granher, Brian Loynes, Matthias Sabatini and Lee Woodburn in 24th. Don't forget that the championship leader in AM is Brian Loynes at the moment. So Brian will need to make sure he does his best from far down the order. We'll be getting underway in just a moment's time. And we'll have the first of 2 races tonight. Of course, the first race a bit shorter than the second. So these guys are really going to sprint for this one. There's no tyre changes needed in either of the races tonight. Ollie Slade says it's going to be a tough one for them, meaning fiercely forward. Highest car for them is Josh Clogg, just there in 8th in the yellow car. Behind him, a few rows back, is Taylor Lane. And further down the order is Jack Werrell. So I'm hoping that Jack can do well. Christophe Herbignaud pops onto the grid. The music will stop in a moment. And we can crack on with the first race of the night. Get your bets in, chat. Let us know who you think is going to win the first race this evening. Are we going to see Ross Nicholson fly away and take, I believe, what will be his first win of the championship? Or will the ever-supreme Christophe Herbignaud chase him down and take that? Right then, it's time to go. And without further ado, round 7 of the Sim Stickers Simracersworld Formula 3 series from Brands Hatch is away, and it looks like a good launch from Ross Nicholson. Christophe Herbignaud comes over to the right to defend from Bart Delman. Seems to have done a good job there, looking down the order. Any contact? Seems like everybody's actually got through all right. Nobody off the circuit, no issues anywhere else. So Ross Nicholson leads them, then it's Delman, Van Eekhoven and Shermans just behind Herbignaud. A little bit side by side in the background. Oh no, there's a car around. Oh, there's somebody into him. That was Paul Godden. Paul Godden catches the fiercely forward car. It's Taylor Lane. And a good stop there. That was Brian Loynes, actually, the championship leader in the AM class, stopping the car there. Let's have a look at Taylor Lane. What happened, mate? Does he just loop it on his own? He does as well. Loops it, and then Paul Godden, oh, just as the car rolls back. Taylor was trying to get it stopped, but he couldn't quite do it. So Ross Nicholson leads the race then. Here is the view back. So Christophe Herbignaud, it's quite a sturdy gap at the moment. Ross doing everything right as things stand. Oh, Herbignaud on the grass a little bit there. Bart Delman just behind him here in third place is the championship leader, and Josh Clogg is apparently off. He's run wide. Just past him goes Tim Rutten for DSRT. And now he's got Kevin Bolland behind him as well. We'll go on board with Kevin, see what he can do as they come into the last corner. Josh is a little bit later on the brakes. Oh, Tito Grant has had an issue as well, you know. What's happened to Tito? Something has gone very wrong for the Spaniard. Let's have a look. Oh, wow, properly gone wrong there. This is into Sheen Curve. Catches the grass. Oh, it just launches the car around, and that's broken the front end and in the wall. And that'll be the end of Tito's race, unfortunately. Back to the race leader, though, for Sim Stickers. Flying at the moment is Ross Nicholson, but look at Herbignaud. He's so... Oh, Matthias Sabatini. Got his name's the wrong way around there. He's out of the race by the look of it. damage to his car. Christophe Ebigno, I was just about to say, looking very menacing. There he is, a little picture at the bottom with the Ferrari 458 Italia. Not sure whether that's his or not. The field's starting to spread out a bit already. Van Eekhoven's got Nick Shermans for company just behind him, and then behind them is Dries van den Rijt. Oh, Tim Rutten has had a moment off the track as well. He's now got Josh Clogg all over him. Tim Rutten's still leading the AM class, of course, in this race. And I didn't notice, but Jack Werrell's out of the race as well. Let's see what happened to Jack. This was just behind Kevin Bolland. Oh, he's just gone wide and into the wall. And it's broken the car. Real shame for Jack, so that's two fiercely forward cars out in the first lap. What a nightmare for those boys. Ollie said it was going to be a tough one. I'm not sure he was quite counting on that. Bart Daleman just chilling in third at the moment by the look of it. Just behind them though, Van Eekhoven and Sherman's getting closer and closer together. Number 77 and number 19. Dries van den Rijt just behind them in 6th. Brian Loynes is very close here to the back of Stephen Grabowski. Brian making his way back up the order. Oh, it looks like, who's this off? Tim Rutten. Tim Rutten is off the circuit. He's not going to do one of his rejoins that we saw at Suzuka by the look of it. What happened to Tim Rutten? Let's have a check. Oh, too much curb and the car just goes around. Whoa, nearly another fiercely forward car out of the race there. That was very, very close. Stephen Grabowski also had an issue earlier, actually, just at the end of the lap. This is behind Lee Woodburn. Turns into the final corner. Way too hot in there. And he's off. Gives the wall a kiss. Not sure whether that's going to have damaged the car. He's still got Brian Loynes behind him, though. Brian not seemingly able to get past at the moment. These two guys are, well, they were the closest on track until I noticed this. Ben White and Camille van den Driesche right near each other. Oh, there's a car off. It's Grabowski. We just look away and off he goes. Looks like he's looped it on his own, just like Taylor Lane did at the start of the race. But this is a good battle going on here. Ben White looking back is Camille van den Driesche. It can be quite hard to follow another car in this series. You've got to think about the aerodynamics. If you distort the air going over the car behind you, it can be a bit difficult if the aero doesn't work as well as it's supposed to. But Camille van den Driesche looking racy at the moment for WRT Esport. I love the livery. I'm a huge fan of a split livery myself. Oh, Kevin Bolland has gone off the circuit. That's near the end of the lap, just out of the Sheen curve. What has happened to Kevin? Here he is then, round the Sheen curve. Oh, just catches the grass, just as Tito Granda did. And he lets it roll back. Probably for the best in that scenario. Dean Timms only just missing it. But he's now in 17th position. And with that spin, by the way, Dean Timms is now the AM class leader. And Kevin Bolland was until that spin. So Dean better not follow the trend and spin the car himself. He is racing for Year 1 Racing, as you can see by his t-shirt as well. All the team in their branding. It's a bit closer still between Ben White and Camille van den Driesche. I want to keep an eye on Camille, see what he can do. See if this chase gets any more intense. We'll go back on board then. Down towards Dingledale, up to Sheen Curve. Doing a good job chasing him at the moment. Just got to put the car where you need to and not overdo it. That's the thing when you're following another car. Just don't overdo it. Really do not overdo it. It's very easy to do. You can think, oh, I'll just nip down the inside here and just give it a go, but no. It's never always that easy. Camille van den Driesche putting on a great chase. The battle for the lead is close now as well. This is Erbigno chasing down Ross Nicholson, and we may see a change of lead this lap, actually. Erbigno goes down the inside, up the hill, around the right-hander. Ross Nicholson, defiant as ever, says, no thank you, sunshine. Oh, Tim Rutten and Kevin Bolland have crashed. What's happened here? They had Matisse Groen in there. Wow, Kevin Bolland flies down the inside, catches Tim Rutten, and the two of them seem to weld together. Brian Loynes has also had an issue. This is him chasing Lee Woodburn. Brian turns it in. Oh, the car's out of shape. Oh, loses it on the grass and it goes the other way around. Luckily, doesn't hit anything. Very, very lucky indeed. Tim Rutten now being overtaken by Stephen Grabowski. That there for 15th place, but we look back at the front. Nicholson, Erbigno and Bart Daleman, championship leader. Ross Nicholson at the moment in the Drivers' Championship is actually 10th, you know. Almost 80 points off the championship leaders. So Bart Daleman can race as best as he can here and not worry about it. Jack Werrell back out of the pit lane, by the way. He's going back out on track, which is good to see. Paul Godden is on the same lap. He's also continued in the race. Well, this is really heating up between these boys. Be great to see Ross Nicholson get a win, especially after such a great drive at Interlagos a few weeks ago. But Christophe Erbigno has been... Oh, Bart Daleman, hello. That's not really what you want to be doing as a championship leader. Here's Van Eekhoven, Shermans and Van den Rijt just behind them. Van den Rijt in the Data Wire car. I do like that livery, you know. Just how simple it is. It just works on Formula 3 cars. Simple liveries just show them off so well. They're so fast around here, I love it. So, so fast. But there's your race leader then. His fastest lap of the race as well, 1:15.9 from Ross Nicholson. Perfect time to do it. On to lap 8 of 15. We're already over the halfway point, can you believe it? Oh wow, there you go. Well, that's how you don't do it by Christophe Erbigno. I'm not sure if Kevin is racing for year one, Ollie. I've not been updated with that, unfortunately. But Christophe Erbigno, well, that was an uncharacteristic mistake. Do you think he was just pushing too hard? It just catches the grass and around it goes. Does a good job to stop it going in the wall. But now he's down in 5th place between Shermans and Van den Rijt. Oh, Tim Rutten's had another off. Paddock Hill Bend. It's gone from bad to worse for Tim Rutten, who was leading the AM class earlier. But now that's this man, Dean Timms. He's got Simone Giovannini just behind him there. Oh, Camille van den Driesche has just gone off the circuit. Comes back on in front of Ben White. Ben flies around the outside. And up into 8th position. Oh, Taylor's had to retire from the race. The engine will not turn over after the repairs he's done, unfortunately. And from what I know, Ollie, Kevin only joined a new team about a week and a half ago. He's going through him at the moment, is Mr. Bolland. But this is Van den Driesche right in the mid-pack here with Josh Clogg behind him. Not too much of a fiercely forward race so far for Josh Clogg. I'm hoping for his sake that he can have a bit more of an exciting race too. We do have a reverse grid, by the way. Anywhere between 8 and 20 cars can be reversed. Taylor's asking if anybody's got any jump leads in the YouTube chat. This is quite close as well here between Erbigno on the back of Shermans now. Or it was till Erbigno made that little mistake. It seems like he's pushing quite hard in this race, does the Belgian driver. But you have to in these cars, you know. Oh, Giovannini has taken the lead in the AM class. Simone Giovannini getting the job done. Down the inside, comes from very far back. Quite an aggressive move. Dean gives him all the room in the world to get it done. Fair play, nice racing. Here's Brian Loynes on the back of Kevin Bolland. And yes, judging by the colour of the wheels, you may be right, actually, he does drive for year one racing. So we'll get that changed. Oh, Jack Werrell's crashed again. Jack-a-boy, just behind these guys as well. What's happened, Jack? Oh, he hates that corner. Oh, just overcorrects it. Car stops, so he gets going again. Nice little spin to go with it, but he's not going to be too happy, I can tell you that. Here's this battle between White and Van den Driesche, still going as well. Camille really trying everything. Oh, bends on the grass a bit there. Camille can close up, but not enough to get the move done. Mattia Sabatini's come out of the pit lane as well after the earlier incident. This is a great scrap though, it's for 8th position this. And yep, we have it confirmed in chat. Oh no, Ben White! Just as I was going to mention year 1, there's a commentator's curse for you. Ben White just clips the grass and around it goes, and Camille Van den Driesche is up to 8th and Josh Clark is now up to 9th position. For Fiercely Forward, we're on lap 11 out of 15. Here is your race leader, Ross Nicholson. He has a 1.2 second gap over Bart Daleman, who is then 2.7 seconds ahead of Frederik van Eekhoven, and then Nick Shermans has got Urbigno only 2.5 tenths behind him. Ben White has gone off again. Oh, he's had a nightmare. Gone from bad to worse for Ben White. Fingers crossed he can sort the tyres out, get it back on. Stephen Grabowski just had an issue after Ben White as well. Is he going to just clip the grass or something into here? Maybe he's gone in. Oh, it's gone in too hot. Around it goes, takes some cones with him. But I want to look at this battle here as they come out from behind the trees. It's Shermans in 4th place with Christophe Urbigno in 5th. With 4 laps to go. I'm not sure whether Urbigno's got anything in the tank, you know. Might have killed the tyres when he had his little slide earlier. You never know. It's close between these guys again. This is Brian Loynes and Kevin Bolland. Brian down the inside, Kevin around the outside. Car 199 against car 104. Sounds like a radio station. Stephen de Wolf, by the way, is just going down the inside of Tim Rutten. Well, he seems to have just let him have the position. We'll go back to this. Kevin just in front of Brian. Now Brian needs to be careful here because he's leading the AM Championship. He can't risk too much. And we know that Kevin's been involved in a few incidents this season. Brian really putting the pressure on. Will he gain the position from this? Tries to get a cutback, turns it in a bit early over the grass and loses some momentum. Now Urbigno is still close to the back of Nick Shermans for 4th place. Oh, and apparently, Ross Nicholson's gone off. There's a car around there, that's Jack Werrell. But Ross Nicholson went off, and now Bart Daleman, championship leader, is right with him here. We'll go on board with Bart, see what he can do. Into the final corner, nothing doing there, but he gets a good cutback and a really good run out the final corner. He's alongside, so as they go down the straight, this is going to be a change for the lead, surely, if Bart can get this stopped properly on the brakes into turn 1. Ross takes a lot of pace around the outside, and Bart doesn't get it done, you know. He's got this lap and 2 more to get the job done, though. Now the pressure is really going to be on Ross Nicholson. Bart just spins up the rears a little bit. It's going to be such a high-paced chase now. Look at Ross around there, though. The car just seems so planted into Surtees. Got to be so careful not to over-rotate it on the brakes. Get back on the power as soon as possible. Don't forget it goes over a crest on the exit, so the car can easily get away from you. But this is a great drive now by Bart Daleman. Such a beautiful circuit, isn't it, Brands Hatch? It's amazing. Been there a handful of times to watch the finale of the British Touring Car Championship, try and make it my sort of annual holiday. And Urbigno has got the job done on Nick Shermans, by the way. He does go through. Oh, Shermans just goes on the grass and Urbigno flies through. Makes it nice and easy for him, but here is the battle at the front again. Now they're coming up to lap traffic. Let's see how this goes. Stephen de Wolf jumps out of the way. Ross Nicholson, though, he's getting held up there by Tim Rutten. Tim stays on the outside, gets out of the way there. But he did hold them up a bit at the exit of Paddock Hill Bend. Van der Rijt's just done his fastest lap of the race in 6th, by the way. He's having a bit of an under-the-radar performance. Another day of sprint at Brands Hatch, by the way, was with the Gran Turismo commentator Tom Brooks, and it was a very wet and windy track day, a motorbike track day that he was going to be on, and it got called off because of the wind. So nothing happened there, but look at this, something's bound to happen here, I tell you that. Bart Delman is really attacking Ross Nicholson. Oh, Van Eekhoven's off. Van Eekhoven's in the wall. Frederik Van Eekhoven from 3rd place in the race. Surely something happened there with Tim Rutten and Stephen de Wolf. Oh wow, look at this, he's in the middle of them. Why is that even happening, boys? Oh my goodness, that should not happen. Well, this was just before it then. We'll go on board with Van Eekhoven. So these guys in front are battling for position. Fair enough, they're having their own battle, but they need to be wary of the cars behind. Van Eekhoven is a lap ahead. Maybe they should have ducked out of the way. I'm not sure they were ready for him to go through the middle. He almost, oh wow, he clips them, goes up in the air. And there's just none of them back out. I'm sorry, boys, but that's terrible. Frederik Van Eekhoven's race is ruined. And I don't really have much else to say. I mean, Van Eekhoven could have waited and not gone through the middle, but either way, one of them should have at least had to back out of that. But we're on to the final lap then, and Ross Nicholson still leads the way for SimStickers Pro. Championship leader Bart Delman is just behind him. And let me just tell you who's on a flyer at the moment. You can judge for yourself. Lee Woodburn in 12th position. He's gained 12 places from the start. Amazing stuff. But this is getting very close to now between Nicholson and Daleman. Oh, Wayne Palmer's apparently off the track, and he's around on the final lap, but we'll have to look into the final corner. Can Daleman do anything? Ross turns it in. Daleman carries some really good speed through there, but it's not going to be enough. Ross Nicholson wins round 7 of the SimStickers Simracersworld Formula 3 Series. Bart Delman just behind. Christophe Herbigno is going to get the podium ahead of Shermans and Van den Ruyt. Another great performance by Van den Ruyt. Van den Driesch is going to end up 6th here. Brilliant performance. Josh Clogg recovers to 7th after starting 8th on the grid. And Ben White is going to be the next car. Wayne Palmer, though, dropped a couple of spots there on that final lap. Real shame for him. Across the line he goes. Simone Giovannini is battling here with Dean Timms for the AM-class win. Dean's going to try and carry the pace around the outside. Backs out of it not to hit the grass. So Simone Giovannini for Prunaro team wins the AM-class in round 7 from Timms and Woodburn. They were that close together, the three of them. Great to watch. Wayne Palmer's parked it. He's done for the day. There's another race yet to go, though, boys. Don't forget. Here's Kevin Bolland, who, as we've recently learned, racing now for Year 1 Racing. 14th overall. Crosses the line 5th in class. And another brilliant race out of the way for this series. But wow, oh wow. We've had a comment in the YouTube chat. It was gutsy to go through the middle, I'm going to say. But it seems it only happened because they didn't move over. And I must say, I agree with that. May not be the view of the stewards or any of the organisers, but yeah, not the best display of driving all round there. However, we do see it from time to time, so let's not worry. There is your race winner then, Ross Nicholson from Bart Delman and Christophe Herbigno. Then it's Nick Shermans and Dries van den Ruyt just behind, with Camille van den Driesch in 6th and Josh Clogg in 7th. Then we have Ben White in 8th position, Wayne Palmer in 9th, and Simone Giovannini, the AM-class winner in that race, rounding out the top 10. Behind them is Dean Timms and Lee Woodburn, with Matthias Groen in 13th, Kevin Bolland 14th, and Stephen Grabowski in 15th. Then it's Brian Loyne 16th ahead of Frederik Van Eekhoven. Sorry, mate, I'll get your name right. 2 laps down after that incident with Tim Rutten and Stephen de Wolf. Then it's Paul Godden, 5 laps down, Jack Werrell and Matthias Sabatini. Taylor Lane and Tito Granher didn't even complete lap 1. So a tough one for those guys. But yes, as everybody said, claps in chat, clap emojis in chat for the winners in their classes, and of course the guys that got the podium finishes as well. But a tough race for them all. So we're going to go to a break in just a second. We've got another race coming up tonight, but it is time to do the reverse grid draw. So anywhere from 8 to 20 can be reversed, so you can see all those on your screen with the results screen now. And we'll see what the random draw comes out as. And it's 14. So Kevin Bolland will be on pole position for Year 1 racing with Mattis Groen alongside. Then it's Lee Woodburn and Dean Timms and Simone Giovannini. So 5 AM drivers in the top 5 for the second race of the night. Should be an exciting one. What I'm going to do for you is leave you with the adverts for just a few minutes. I'm going to give you a little treat as well. If some of you didn't watch the Simracersworld TCR series broadcast on Tuesday, you will have missed the final video I've done as Chazlington with Meraki Racing Team, which has launched their new liveries, which have actually started being rolled out this week, and will be also premiering their new Porsche at the Porsche Sport event on Friday. So what I'll do is shut the music up, and I'll leave you with that, and you can enjoy it in your own leisure. I'll speak to you in a few.
Like two fires, movement so graceful. Wildcat in the jungle with dangerous claws. Movement she anticipates, a sight is set on her prey. Like stars in the darkest night, crystallize, fascinate. If you wanna stay alive, if you don't wanna be her prey, don't stand in her way. Run, run, run away. Crystallize, 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 watching her prey. Crystallize, crystallize.
Welcome back to the Simracersworld Formula 3 series on Simracersworld TV from Brands Hatch. My name is Chaz Draycott, known to a lot of you as Chazlington, your host for the evening and the entire championship. Track's a little bit hotter in this one. The sun is out and the polyagonal shadows are on show. So the guys may struggle a little bit more with tyre wear towards the end of this race. We had a reverse grid of 14, which means that Kevin Bolland will be on the front row of the grid. And hopefully, for his sake, Josh Clogg has a better one in this second race tonight. Josh racing for Fiercely Forward. Ross Nicholson, though, was your race winner in race 1 and did a cracking job for SimStickers Pro. The artist formerly known as Chazlington. Yes, Chris Coughlin, you are right. As of Monday, Chazlington will be no more as a brand as okay, Ross. If you want to do that to your Formula 3 car before the race begins, then that's absolutely fine. Christophe Herbignaud made a very uncharacteristic mistake in that first race. Are we going to see the same again in race 2? Hopefully not, for his sake, because he is savagely fast in these things. And yep, thank you for that. You've done it again. Well done, Chaz, for getting to unmute the sound after an ad break. Thank you, Taylor. Mucho appreciate. You'd think I'd know by now, wouldn't you? Simone Giovannini won the AM class in race 1, and his practice is just coming up to a close. Or is it? No, it's not. The sim likes to reset some of these things for us. There you go. 6 minutes 51 of this 10-minute warm-up session. Go on board with Simone Giovannini. One thing I do want to try, actually, sorry, scrap that off for a second, is look at Dean Timms, who now has a livery. There you go. He sent it me between the races, and his livery is now working. So the Year 1 racing car covered in those the livery, but no number board on it, unfortunately. We'll bang a decal layer on it for next time. Oh, he's gone straight on there. Manages to keep it out of the wall. Here's his teammate Ben White for Year 1 racing. and Van Eekhoven goes top. Now Van Eekhoven was involved in that very controversial incident in the first race with the two back markers. And we're hoping not to see more of that this time round. Nick Sherman's had a good first race. Not too much of a lively one. Brian Loynes made a bit of a comeback through the pack in the AM class. He's going to be hoping that he can do the same this time. Just behind him there is Lee Woodburn in the number 775 car. Oh, Bart Daleman apparently off the circuit, the championship leader all over the shop. Gets it stopped, can't be bothered. Here goes Camille van den Driesche. Don't forget everybody to like the videos whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, and do subscribe to Simracersworld TV on YouTube, and follow the Simracersworld Formula 3 series and like the page on Facebook. There is also the Simracersworld TCR series page as well if you'd like to follow that. I also do the broadcasting for that on Tuesday nights. We have a heck of a lot of fun, 2 races a night there with 2 qualifying sessions, and it is very, very lively. So only half a minute left of this warm-up session now then. And that's Camille van den Driesche showing us just how quickly you can stop a Formula 3 car. They really do hit a wall. It's crazy. Speaking of someone that's hit a wall, we don't want Josh Clogg to do that this race, do we, Ollie? Mr. Slade will be in the chat watching closely to see how his boys get on. And the very pretty liveries, I certainly hope, do not end up in a wall. So your pole sitter is going to be Kevin Bolland himself. Here it is then. Oh, apparently it thinks that Josh Clogg is going to be the pole sitter. We'll try that again, shall we? There you go. Kevin Bolland on pole from Matisse Groen. Alongside them, behind them is Lee Woodburn and Dean Timms. Then it's Simone Giovannini, Wayne Palmer, the top pro driver, with Ben White and Josh Clogg on row 4, Camille van den Driesche and Dries van den Rijt on row 5, with Nick Shermans and Christophe Herbigno behind them. Then it is Bart Daleman and Ross Nicholson, Stephen Grabowski and Brian Loynes, followed by Frederick van Eekhoven and Tim Rutten, with Stephen de Wolf and Paul Godden in the 10th row of the grid. Then it is Jack Werrell and Matthias Sabatini, who is in a fiercely forward sandwich as Taylor Lane, get your words out Chaz, lines up 23rd and last on the grid. So there's your pole sitter Kevin Bolland. Just waiting for Josh Clogg to pop onto the grid on the right hand side. There he is. And here we go then. Round 8 of the Sim Stickers Simracersworld Formula 3 Series is go. It looked like a good launch there for Kevin Bolland, who did a cracking job off the line. Matisse Groen tries to go with him. Josh Clogg has dropped a few places. There's contact and off goes Dean Timms. And Josh Clogg's off as well. Oh, well, Josh, it must have been a very slow commentator's curse to kick in that gradually, but it's not gone well for him. Looking a bit further down the order, it's really feisty through here. They're all 2 by 2. No hurrah, hurrah, though, by the look of it. Oh, there's more contact. Is that Brian Loynes around? It is. Brian Loynes gets turned. Not quite sure who it was that clipped him, but look at this lot. Stephen Grabowski's in here. Stephen de Wolf. There's a few of these guys. Let's see if anything happens. Grabowski gets out of the way. Jack Werrell has made it through. He is side by side here with Tim Rutten, I believe. Yep, as they go down Pilgrim's Drop. But Dean Timms loses out and gets taken off at turn 1. What a shame. Kevin Bolland still leading the race for year 1 behind him. Matisse Groen. Oh, Lee Woodburn's dropping places very quickly there. Camille van den Driesche and Ben White have just gone through. Ben White is potentially in with a chance of winning this race. You know, Ben is flying through the order. But we're going to have a quick look at what happened with Dean Timms. Sorry, that's the aftermath. Did he get a tap from anybody? Oh yeah, there's contact there with the Prunaro car. Josh Clogg also gets caught up in that. I think think he also made contact with somebody. Oh, there's cars off all over the place. Cars off at turn 1. Matthijs Groen, Camille van den Driesche. I'm trying to click on him, trust me. There he is. Oh, we've got a heck of a lot of guys off at turn 1. Simone Giovannini in there as well. What happened, boys? Humongous incident. I'm just trying to find out what happened. Oh, wow. And Simone Giovannini's had an incident with Josh Clogg as they come in the pit lane further down. What a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Let's see if this is what happens. So, Camille van den Driesche down the inside of Ben White. Oh, the cars around in front of him. And they all just get caught up in it. That was Matthijs Groen that was around. And Danilo, that's not my call, unfortunately, mate. I do not broadcast the GT3 series. Simracersworld TV do it separately. Apex Racing TV were the ones doing that. Camille van den Driesche's off, rejoining into the middle of the road. He gets it out of the way. Good effort. But Kevin Bolland still your race leader. Bart Daleman, championship leader in second. Ebonio now up to third as he goes past Nick Shermans. So these guys are already at the front of the field. After all these accidents that are going on, there's so many cars out and in the pits. 10 cars in the pit lane at the moment. Such a shame. But now Kevin Bolland is going to be at the mercy of Bart Daleman here. Bart flying forward. Davey Witterballs joins us in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Bart Daleman taking the lead here from Kevin Bolland. Down the inside he goes. Kevin still leading the AM class though, so there's nothing wrong with that. Christophe Herbigno is going to be the next to attack. The Year 1 racing car carries a lot of speed through the right-hander. Down through Dingledale up to Sheen Curve. Kevin is not letting him have that very easily, is he? He doesn't have to be honest. He's racing in fifth position overall in the race, and now he's doing the same with Nick Shermans. Ross Nicholson, race 1 winner, is just behind there. Thank you very much, Danilo. Much appreciated, mate. You never know if... oh, Ben White is off again. Ben White's had a terrible evening. No offence, Ben, but I think he'll probably agree. Let's see what happened to Mr. White. Into Druids. Oh, it's just way too hot into there. Locks up a brake. Straight on and into the wall. So Bart Daleman leads. Christophe Herbigno just behind. Then Kevin Bolland has Shermans and Ross Nicholson tucked up right behind him. Putting up a good fight. And just behind this, Frederik van Eekhoven wants a piece of the cake as well. He's going to be following these boys. Of course, a 24-lap race this time, rather than just the 15 from race 1. Down the inside of Bolland goes Shermans. He goes through. Ross Nicholson wants in on this as well. Frederik van Eekhoven thinks, no thanks, boys. He holds back, but Bolland slows down, and van Eekhoven loses a bit of time from it there. He's going to have to bide his time and make his move. It is for position, though, so Bolland has every right to defend his place. Yeah, Mr. White met Mr. Wall. You're not wrong there. That's the Mew on YouTube commenting that. Sorry if I got that wrong, by the way. But now Kevin is giving all of the slipstream in the world. Oh, Stephen Grabowski's gone off the track. We'll have a look in a second. Around the outside into Paddock Hill Bend. That's brave from Van Eekhoven. Just behind him is Jack Werrell in the AM class. Second in class at the moment with Wayne Palmer behind him. Matteo Sabatini is third in the AM class, but decent drive so far from Jack Werrell. Some of these guys have gained a lot of places as well. Look on the left-hand side of your screen. Werrell is actually the biggest mover in the field. 14 places gained, so what a drive. Only 16 cars still on track at the moment. But Jack is doing a fine job here, mixing it with the big boys near the front. Like I said earlier, Jack and I will be commentating on the Porsche Sport 2 hours of Silverstone on Simracersworld TV on Friday, tomorrow, in fact. And after how good the 2.4 hours of Le Mans was, I cannot wait to work with Jack again. It should be good fun. He's looking forward to it as well. Everyone involved is looking forward to it, trust me. We're all very excited. I'm sure Frederik van Eekhoven is excited to get past Kevin Bolland. He feels like he's being held up a bit here, I'm sure. as Ross Nicholson and Nick Sherman's break away ahead of them. Great livery on that car, by the way. Love that. That is the SROC Racing Forces livery. Ebenio does the fastest lap of the race, a 1:15.7 in his chase of Bart Daleman. He's within a second. Speaking of winning in a second, Nick Shermans and Ross Nicholson are fighting very closely here. And Louis Hanke is in chat, Mr. Hanke as I call him. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Oh no, what's the Werrell done? Oh, Jack. Oh, Louis turns up in chat. Says go, Jack. And it's in a wall. Let's see what happened. Oh, the rear end gets lit up there. It's Graham Hillband. Oh, wow. Oh, and he just clips the corner of the car in front, and then that is in the wall and in pieces, unfortunately, just like his race. Hopefully not his contract. Frederik van Eekhoven then, chasing down Kevin Bolland still. Up to Sheen Curve, can't get anything done through there. Now they're going to go into Sterling's. It's all about carrying momentum through here. Kevin does that just fine and keeps in front of Van Eekhoven. Here's the battle for the lead. Christophe Ebenio chasing down Bart Daleman. These two in a bit of a race of their own at the moment in the championship. They were first and third coming into this meeting. Josh Clogg was in second, and he is a lap down in 17th at the moment, so you've got to think that won't remain the same. Here's this once again. There's Van Eekhoven's car in great detail. The number 77 machine. Kevin just driving a really good defensive race at the moment. Not too flamboyant, not too aggressive. Speaking of, Van Eekhoven sends it down the inside, but still can't get it done. Oh yeah, you got that nickname right, the Mew. Don't you worry. He is Mr. Hanke. The funny thing is, as well, I give Louis, or Lewis, or however you pronounce his name, this nickname. Never actually spoken to him properly, I don't think. We have on Discord, but not actually vocally, so that still needs to happen, Lewis, Mr. Hanke. Anyway, Van Eekhoven now has Sabatini behind him, and then Wayne Palmer in the SimStickers car. There's a bit of a train forming here behind Kevin Bolland. He's becoming a bit of a Jarno Trulli of the Simracersworld Formula 3 series. Bart Daleman does the fastest lap of the race, a 15.750, in response to Christophe Ebenio. Sorry, 7.60, I must say. Rutten and Grabowski are having a fight here further down the order. We'll go on board with Stephen with the giraffe-like pattern in the gold on his car. Tim just in front there for DSRT. Oh, there's a bit of grass there. Oh, Stephen, save it, go on. Oh, no, that's going around. No, good save. Very good save. Clipped a bit of the grass, clipped a bit of the gravel, and somehow doesn't spin the machine. Lee Woodburn goes down the inside. He wants 13th place now, and he gets it. For now, Grabowski back down the inside. No, slams on the brakes, make sure it doesn't make contact, although it nearly goes into Woodburn. Lee takes the AstroTurf, but he then has 13th place. Grabowski on the grass now. Don't drink and drive, kids. So there's Bart Daleman then. Still in front of Christophe Ebenio, and he wants to stay there for the sake of his championship. So he opens up the gap somewhat. Ross Nicholson is third as well, with Nick Sherman's just behind. Nick Sherman's, I tell you what, I don't really give Nick enough credit. He's always just up there in the top 5 with these guys. 15.705 for Ebenio now. Fastest lap of the race for him. But yeah, Sherman's does a great job in this series. In the championship, he is 11th. But he just, in these race 2s, he just always seems to be up there. I mean, he did a great race 1 here tonight. So he's going to get plenty of points if he can keep it on the road all evening. Especially at the pace that he's doing as well. I mean, he's not really far off the leader's pace. Oh, Tim Rutten is off the circuit again. Tim's becoming a bit of a menace to himself, isn't he? Let's have a look. What's happened to Tim? Has he just overdone it? Maybe caught a bit of the gravel on the exit? Oh yeah, he lets off so he's not wheel spinning the rears. And as it catches the gravel, the car just completely rotates. Oh, Bart Daleman, just as I was saying about defending his championship, he's gone off. Oh wow, Christophe Herbigno. Come on, it won't let me click the right thing. Let's just go on board with Christophe Herbigno and just see why he needs a medal for this. Watch how close this gets then. So, Daleman clips the grass. Herbigno, tiny bit of flick to the left, and look how close that is. Wow. That could have been a very, very serious incident. Sorry, we have to hear the big whooshy noise again. There we go. But that was very, very close indeed. Frederik van Eekhoven has finally got past Kevin Bolland, but now he's got Matthias Sabatini, Taylor Lane, Brian Loynes and Wayne Palmer all stuck behind him. This is for the AM-class lead as well between Bolland and Sabatini. It's side by side behind them, Taylor Lane. Brian Loynes is in the AM-class as well. He's the AM-class championship leader at the moment, and he wants to get past Taylor Lane. But Kevin is soaking up all this pressure so well at the moment. Can he defend from Sabatini? Mattia goes down the inside. The Prunaro team car nearly making contact. He has to get out of it. I'm not sure whether that was down to Kevin not giving him enough room or whether he just ran wide. And now it's really kicking off between these boys. Almost 3 wide down Pilgrim's Drop. Up to Hawthorne Bend. So much commitment through there. Just behind this, by the way, Paul Godden and Wayne Palmer, the 2 teammates, having a bit of a battle as well. Taylor Lane, though, in the Pro class, needs to get past these boys here. He's not doing that at the moment, is he? He's stuck with these AM drivers scrapping around. Oh, just in the background. Wayne Palmer's gone around. Herbigno does another fastest lap of the race just to really seal the deal. On lap 11 of 24, and the tyres will start to go off very shortly. And Matty Scrone saying in the chat that he was surprised that Kevin came outside and he couldn't steer and lost it. So maybe Kevin Bolland running wide was what caused the incident. Not directly, of course, but he's still defending here from Sabatini and doing a great job just behind. Wow, it got very close there between Brian Loynes and Taylor Lane. Brian had to get out of it, and Taylor had to get out of that from hitting him. He's still very close to the back. Here we go on board with Brian's car, and you'll see now Taylor Lane start closing up in that fiercely forward Formula 3 machine. Ollie Slade in the YouTube chat just begging Taylor to survive the race. He's got Werrell and Josh Clogg both either out the race or a few laps down. Sabatini still having a go here at Kevin Bolland. Another fastest lap of the race from Christophe Herbigno. This guy just never slows down. Look at Taylor Lane around the outside of Brian Loynes. What a gutsy manoeuvre that was. They're side by side going into clearways. And around the final corner, Taylor Lane has done it, and he's back into 8th place now. But this is the battle of the race at the moment. Fantastic scrap. Kevin Bolland has really been in the action. Hopefully he manages to come away with a good result from this. Oh, Kevin doesn't really stick to the inside very much there. Make sure that Sabatini knows his intentions. He's saying, you are not getting through, sunshine. Not on my watch. Jack Werrell saying he's not out. He's always going to try what he's got left of his car. Sorry, tried to drag what's left of his car across the line. Sabatini just can't do anything at the moment to get through past Kevin Bolland. There's a slow car in front there. I think that's his teammate. That's Simone Giovannini. Yeah, he's just getting out of the way as they go flying down the hill. Taylor Lane down the inside now. Nearly contact between the two of them. This is all for position. They may be in different classes, but they get points for overall position. So every place counts, and these guys are within their right to fight each other. Christophe Herbigno doesn't do the fastest lap of the race this time around for a change. 1:15.8. But look at this attack by Mattia Sabatini. It's so intense. He's got some good slipstream here. What's Kevin going to do now? Is he just going to defend the inside? He is. He sticks it to the inside. Sabatini goes to the outside. Onto the brakes. Oh, Kevin runs it wide. There's contact from behind. I think that was from Taylor Lane, and Sabatini's off. Oh, it's a real shame that. Let's have another look. Sabatini brakes. Taylor, yeah, Taylor just doesn't seem to be able to get it stopped very quickly, and just behind him, you know. That was Brian Loynes that went very sideways, and his teammate sneaks through. He's actually, I tell you what, he's not sneaked through. They're still completely side by side there. Both the Sim Stickers cars. Both in the AM class. That's Brian Loynes ahead of Paul Godden. Maybe Paul knowing that Brian was fighting for a championship. Sabatini is just here. He's still 10th overall. But yeah, that has not gone his way. He passes his teammate down Pilgrim's Drop for the second lap in a row. Back to the front. This is still quite close here. Ross Nicholson is now second, ahead of Bart Delman and Nick Shermans, the two teammates for Simracersworld. This is Nick Shermans. 10 laps to go. We're on lap 14 of 24, so 15 if you include, sorry, 11 if you include this one. That was good maths, wasn't it? Kevin Bolland still leading the AM class, but Taylor Lane tries it around the outside. And Taylor Lane carries the pace. What a move. What a move. They both go late on the brakes. Round Druid still side by side. Great racing from these pair. Taylor in the pro class. Kevin in the AM class. Kevin turns in, nearly makes contact with him, runs a bit wide and Taylor's through. And that is why Fiercely Forward have brought Taylor on board. Very committed, brilliant racer. And just to show you how committed, look on the left-hand side of your screen. 17 places gained from Taylor Lane in this one to be 6th overall. Hopefully he can keep that up. Oh, Ross Nicholson is run wide. Bit of a slide on the grass. Wow, you'll need some different types of stickers to cover up the patch that's going to have left. Bart Delman now into second place in the number 2. But Ross is going to be all over him. And I can sense a great battle coming on here. Ross tries to find a gap. Nearly hits the back of Delman's car. On the brakes into turn 1. Ross brakes a tiny bit later, but he's run wide. It's sideways and he's off in the gravel. Does a great job to stop it going around, but he loses a place to Van Eekhoven as well. Taylor Lane's 17 seconds back, look. But Ross, now that means that it's 4 Belgians at the front of the field. We've got Christophe Herbigno, Bart Delman, Nick Shermans and Frederik Van Eekhoven. There's only 6 Belgians in the race, including Van den Wright and De Wolf. Look at the speed that Herbigno carries around there. I want to go on board with him for a second just to show you how smooth and committed he is in this car. Look at it. Oh, Brian Loynes has had an issue. Brian Loynes has gone around. I think Ross Nicholson had another off. Oh, no, he didn't, sorry. Oh, Brian just catches the curb, then the grass. Car doesn't want to go that way when it's on slippy grass. Slicks do not work like that, mate. This is Bart Delman and Nick Shermans, who are now scrapping together as well, the two teammates. Again, Nick just really doing a great job in this championship so far. Bart makes it very clear that he's not going to defend too hard. Nick makes it very clear that he's not going to push his teammate to make a move on him. He knows that Bart is leading the championship. So nice friendly team racing there. These guys are 12.8 seconds behind Christophe Herbigno, who we will go back on board with now. I just want to show you the commitment. Now Taylor Lane and Kevin Bolland aren't battling, they're both on their best laps of the race. Look at the speed around there from Herbigno and how well committed that is. Brilliant. This is how you do it, ladies and gents. I don't know how, but this is a visual representation. Oh, now there's an interesting little moment. Christophe Herbigno's internet blinked out for a second there, bad look of it. He's so fast. 8 laps to go. Around the final corner onto lap 17 out of 24. The field quite spread out at the moment. Oh, Kevin Bolland's off. I was just about to say Kevin Bolland and Taylor Lane were the closest 2 cars on track. Where is Paul Godden? There he is. Paul is second in the AM class, chasing down Kevin for the win. Third in class is Mattia Sabatini, 5.1 seconds back for Prunaro team. Well, Kevin Bolland needs to make sure that there's no more mistakes like that. He's now only 0.8 of a second ahead of Paul Godden. Louis Hanker says classic Belgian internet. Wow, okay. We're launching those sorts of missiles, are we, tonight? But the Belgians showing that they're very good in Formula 3 cars at the moment. Doing a cracking job. And to be fair to him, Kevin Bolland, on his debut for Year 1 Racing in this series, he's also doing a good job. He had a bit of a nightmare start to the season, hitting a static car on the grid when somebody didn't go. But he's turned things around, and he is now leading the AM class here at Brands Hatch in round 8 through Sheen Curve. I tell you what though, Paul Godden is looking very, very feisty here, isn't he? The gap is now down to just under half a second, and he is going to be in slipstream range of the Year 1 racing car. Into the final corner. Paul for Sim Stickers, the sponsor of the championship. Thank you, of course, to them for the support they provide. These cars just really stick to the road, don't they? The gap between Shermans and Daleman has now opened up to just a second. So those guys not as close together as they were. Paul just needs to continue to put the pressure on Kevin Bolland here, and he could make a mistake. It's easier said than done though, because some of these guys have nerves of steel. Either that or they don't drive in their mirrors like I do. I get so worried when there's another car behind, thinking, are they faster than me? Where are they making time up on me? Sometimes you've just got to zone out of that and drive forward. Looks like Kevin's doing that at the moment. Dries van den Rijt has just passed Lee Woodburn a bit further down the order. Into the final corner we go then. The gap is now down to just under 0.4 of a second between Paul Godden and Kevin Bolland. You can see the gap in the bottom right of your screen. That will update live as well, so you'll see that to the nearest 100th of a second. You can even do it to the nearest 1,000th if you want. There you go. Wait for it. There you go. You can see the thousandths of a second now if you want to. And here comes the slipstream then. Look at those thousandths disappear. Kevin Bolland is going to have to defend here from Paul Godden. This is for the lead of the AM class. Paul takes a very wide line, tries to get some sort of cutback from it, but it doesn't work. But Kevin doing everything he needs to do at the moment, and he's very impressive just behind the trees there. Beautiful camera. Oh, Brian Loynes has gone off. Oh, Brian Loynes has properly gone off. That's out of Hawthorne, and that is going to be the end of Brian Loynes' race. Oh, what a nightmare. The AM Class Championship leader out of the race. And now it's up to his teammate Paul Godden to avenge him and take the lead and win this class for him. Oh, Stephen Grabowski's had an incident as well. He's around, he's hit the wall. Not sure how much damage it's done to the car. Can't be too much. Oh, no! No, 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 no. That's not what we needed. Oh, he drives straight into the middle of the circuit. That was Josh Clogg. You may think it's Lando Norris with that helmet, but what was going through Stephen's head there? So Tim Rutten very nearly misses him in an incident similar to what we saw before, and then he just spins it back on the track, and Josh Clogg, he's going to be fuming with that surely. Stephen just puts the car back onto the racing line, and his race is over as well. I mean, some people will probably say rightly so with that sort of rejoin, but not what we want to see. And Davey Whitterball saying they're cutting the corners not enough here. We've got other guys saying these cars are easy to drive but hard to go fast in, especially when you're trying to be Airbagno fast. Apparently Josh Clogg came back on track. Did he get this thing going again? No, he didn't. Never mind. But this battle's still going on here between Kevin Bolland and Paul Godden. I expect that we'll see Stephen Grabowski getting a slap on the wrists from the series organisers. But Kevin Bolland's still leading this AM class and doing a great job. But now, if you look just behind there, Mattia Sabatini's come into the picture as well. And Kevin has gone off the circuit, and through goes Paul Godden. They're still side by side though now as they come up to Sheen Curve. This is going to be a heck of a battle. Is he going to give him the room? He does. There's nearly contact. Kevin's still now in the lead of the class. Mattia Sabatini down the inside of Paul Godden. Paul's going to be fuming that he didn't get past sooner, because now he's lost his chance, and if Kevin can break away, or if Sabatini can go through and make the move, then Paul has lost his chance at an AM class win here. We're on to lap 22 of 24. And Christophe Herbignoux has a 12.4 second lead over Bart Daleman. Nick Sherman's just a second behind him. We have 13 cars running now. Oh, and Kevin's gone off, and that's it. Kevin Bolland drops down. Kevin bottled. And he has dropped down to 9th place overall, which means Mattia Sabatini arrived on the scene at the right time. Oh, Paul Godden's gone very wide through Surtees. Sabatini arrived on the scene then at the right moment, and through he goes. It was Simone Giovannini, his teammate, I believe, that won the AM class in race 1. Oh, and he's on the grass now as well. Plenty of countryside off-roading going on here in the Formula 3 series. Sherman's and Eekhoven doing the fastest laps for themselves. Bart Daleman's done the fastest first sector of anybody on that last lap. So even this long into a race, they're still going rapid. Camille Vandendriesche is still out on track. Same with Simone Giovannini. These guys are a couple of laps down. Oh, Christophe Herbignoux apparently going off track there for a moment. He's on lap 23 or 24 now. Closest cars on track though. Dries van den Rijt chasing down Wayne Palmer. Both in the pro class. Just on the edges of the top 10. Van den Rijt wants in. Palmer wants to defend, but we've seen that Dries van den Rijt is very, very fast. Palmer's been doing well himself, but from the past experience of the last few rounds, I think Van den Rijt may have the upper hand here. As Christophe Herbignoux starts the final lap of the race. That soon came round, didn't it? We'll look back at this though. There's Van den Rijt just showing his nose, trying to put pressure here on Wayne Palmer. And Van Eekhoven is not catching Sherman's, not that quickly anyway. He's about 1.2 seconds back at the moment. Although he did do the fastest first sector of anybody on that last lap, you know. There is the gap. But he's not catching him at a rate of knots at the moment. Here's your race leader, Christophe Herbignoux. He's been pretty untouchable in this one. Made his way through the order early on. A mistake from Daleman gave him the lead, and it's now just under 12.7 seconds. And it's going to be another very convincing victory. Get those clap emojis ready, everybody, because he certainly deserves them for this one. 3 clearways, round the final corner, and round 8 of the SimStickers Simracersworld Formula 3 Series goes to Christophe Herbignoux, the Belgian driver for SDL Esports by Logitech, doing an amazing job. And Bart Daleman, car 2, position 2. He's going to be gutted not to take the win, but it's damage limitation, so Herbignoux doesn't gain too many points on him in the championship. Sherman's only 0.3 of a second ahead of Frederik van Eekhoven at the end. Ross Nicholson comes home in 5th. He'll be happy with that. And Taylor Lane, really, really impressive drive. 17 positions gained here for Fiercely Forward. And he is going to come through clearways and take 6th place overall. Great drive by Taylor. I'm sure Ollie will be very happy with that one, despite a very tough night for the team. And Mattia Sabatini means it's 2 wins out of 2 tonight for Prinaro team in the AM class. Great driving by those boys. Paul Godden second, Kevin Bolland Great drive there in 3rd place in the AM class, 9th overall. And Dries van den Rijt does get the better of Wayne Palmer at the end. We'll see if we can just have a quick look back and see where that happened. Can't seem to see anything for it on the screen where I'd usually look for that. I think it's because it came after the checkered flag came out originally, but what a great race. Another awesome race to round out our evening. And here are your race results then. So your race winner, Christophe Herbigno from Bart Delman in 2nd, and 3rd place to Nick Shermans, and 4th was Frederik van Eekhoven. So the Belgians really doing a cracking job in that one. Ross Nicholson best of the rest in 5th place, with Taylor Lane in 6th and Matthias Sabatini in 7th. Then we have Paul Godden and Kevin Bolland rounding out your AM class podium. 10th place Dries van den Rijt with Wayne Palmer in 11th. Lee Woodburn was in 12th, and Tim Rutten was the last car running then. 5 laps down was Camille van den Driesche. Brian Loyne 6 laps down with Stephen Grabowski. Then Simone Giovannini and Josh Clogg in 18th. He had a torrid race there. I'm sure he'll be having a word with Stephen about that rejoin. Then we have Jack Werrell, another poor race for him tonight, unfortunately, 19 laps down. And then near the beginning of the race, we lost Ben White, Matthias Grön, Stephen DeWolf and Dean Timms. But a lot of fun again this evening. Really enjoyed that one. And we'll do the usual and grab some guys for an interview. Just see who we can have a chat with first, shall we? Who is waiting? Who is waiting? Well, somebody that was really on the pace tonight, and to be honest, one of the more exciting drivers in the series, if you ask me. Frederik van Eekhoven joins us in the interview booth. Frederik, how are we doing tonight, mate? You all right?
Yes, I cooled down a little already from the first race. I had a more than decent second race, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I was meaning to ask you about the incident in race 1. Now I know it wasn't an ideal situation to be in. One of the more sort of strange incidents I've seen with back markers. But what was going through your head when you went down Pilgrim's Drop when you saw those guys side by side?
So yeah, the turn before they were already side by side, and I can understand that you're fighting for your position. But because of that, they got a slow exit. And I thought I could just split them, go in between, but when I was right next to them, they pinched me in, so we came together.
Well, it was a bit of a scary moment because we saw that the car sort of jumped up in the air first, and then it was the secondary contact that then took you off the circuit. Well, let's talk about the sort of the better side of your night, obviously race 2. Making your way through the order from 17th, did you think you'd get that far into 4th by the end?
No, I didn't think I would make it that far. I'm also surprised to finish the race because it was quite hectic in the start at some places. And yeah, if you're that far back on the grid, you can see everything happening. But yeah, I've made it, so I scored some points, and I'm happy with it. I need that.
Yeah, it's certainly looking like a championship where every single point that you drop could be absolutely vital because it's very close all the way up and down the order, isn't it?
Yes, it is. There are some fast guys. They also got struck by some bad luck, so everything stays very close together. I think we are now in a title fight with like five guys, 5 racers.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, it's certainly close at the top. I mean, going into this one, there was only 60 points covering the top 7. And bearing in mind you get 50, well sometimes even 65 as well if you play your cards right in race 2. It's just one race away from turning completely on its head, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'm looking forward to the next races.
Yeah, it should be good. What do you think of having the 2-week break between each round? Does it give you time to properly prepare for the next ones, or do you think it's too long and you get itching to go again?
I like that. I like that a lot because I've got a busy life. Besides it, I also like to play some other video games.
Yeah.
And it's fun to not have to prepare every single week, under pressure to prepare for the race and do stuff like that. So it's nice to have these breaks and also be able to race some other events.
Yeah, definitely. I can imagine it's a nice balance. We go to Zandvoort next week. What do you reckon of chucking this car around there? It's probably a bit of a fun circuit on the hot lap in these things, but what do you reckon about trying to overtake and race other people around there?
I think it's going to be better than this week. I've also raced Zandvoort earlier in the F3 season, and it was, I must say, the racing was pretty clean. You have some opportunities to overtake, but yeah, sometimes you have to force the issue, especially with these cars. But yeah, it should be good.
Well, we hope that you have a good evening there, Frederick, when we see you next time round. Just before I let you go, mate, is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to?
Just the whole organization for broadcasting. I've seen a lot of streams lately, and I must say that this stream is one of the best, I must say. And then, yeah, of course, my team, the SROC Racing Forces.
Cracking stuff, mate. Well, good to speak to you. We've just seen the slow motion footage of what happened in front of you going into the pit exit. The pit entrance. I didn't actually catch the incident on the broadcast, but a bit of a strange one that. Fingers crossed it goes well for you next week at Zandvoort, mate, and we'll probably speak to you then.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Frederick Van Eekhoven there, lovely guy. Very, very talented in these cars, and like he said, it was a case of staying out of trouble tonight and playing his cards right. Someone who had another bit of an up and down evening, we caught him on camera and we made sure that we obviously had him ready in the chat. Tim Rutten joins us from DSRT. How are we doing, Tim?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
How did you find that one, mate? Bit of an up and down evening, wasn't it?
It really was, honestly. So first of all, yeah, the first race incident, I honestly don't know what to say about it. It was a bit of a weird one. So I'm not really going in depth about that one.
Yeah.
Secondly, the race 2, I really had a really epic battle with, I believe, Stefan in lap 19. That was, I don't know what to say. That was honestly awesome, and I really want to see that again.
Yeah, we caught a part of that one, I think. There was a lot of side-by-side action, and it was good to see you boys going wheel to wheel. And it's always part of my aim as the broadcaster to highlight some of the battles further down as well, not just sort of like the top 3 running away with it. And there was some really, really good battles all the way up and down the order tonight. Did you feel like you had the pace to really charge against some of those guys?
Looking at the practices and qualifying from the first race, I was honestly surprised with how fast I was. It's just a shame I was not as consistent, because I did spin in both races, and that really just ruined my own races.
Yeah, it's easy to do around here. It's not the most straightforward of circuits, is it, when you're in something like this? There's so little margin, there's so many braking zones where you can just clip the grass and then the car goes around quicker than you can catch it, can't it?
Yeah, the lines are really weird. It does require a lot of curb mounting, and that just doesn't set up the car, especially when you have hot tires. You can easily lose the car then.
Well, we go to Zandvoort next week, which is another narrow and windy circuit. What's your experience like round there? Do you reckon you'll do okay?
Well, actually, I have a race planned on May 3rd, the F3 Masters of Zandvoort, included with a couple of top-tier drivers. So I am actually already grinding a lot of hours for that race. So yeah, I'm feeling really confident for that race in 2 weeks.
Well, fingers crossed it goes well for you there, mate. Just before I let you go tonight, Tim, is there anyone that you would like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, definitely Stefan, for how clean his driving was during that battle.
Good stuff.
That's what I'm sure.
Well, it's always good to see, mate. We'll speak to you at Zandvoort then and keep our eye on you there. Good luck for that one.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Tim Rutten there of DSRT, and somebody that I would really like to interview, because we've been watching him with great intention, and he got his first win in the series tonight as well. Ross Nicholson from SimStickers joins us in the chat. Ross, I bet you're over the moon with that first one, mate.
Yeah, really pleased. Very nervous. I don't think my knees stopped shaking throughout the whole race. But yeah, it was really good.
What did you make of driving these cars around Brands Hatch? It sure looked like a hell of a lot of fun from in the commentary box.
Yeah, when you first do the first couple of laps with the setups, and then you're like, this is really quick, like really quick. And then you start homing in your lines and everything, and then you get so quick, and then you just think, I don't think you're ever going to overtake anyone on the track, because it literally, I think there was one braking zone, and that was for the hairpin, and other than that, it was just trial braking everywhere. So yeah, it was super quick, super fun, but on edge the whole lap.
Well, I was just saying then to Tim Rutten, it's one of those circuits where the racing lines have to be so wide out of one corner and narrow through the next that you can just clip the grass that tiniest bit round here with all the braking zones where they are, and it can just completely chuck the car out, can't it?
Yeah, I know in the first race, and Christopher was behind me, and all of a sudden he wasn't behind me. I didn't really know what happened, and then I looked after the race, and what he'd done was literally touch the grass, not even millimetre on the grass coming out of exit of turn 2, and then just lost the whole rear. So going into the race, it was like, make sure you don't get any X's, don't go off, because as soon as you do, it's like an ice rink. So it's just keeping it clean every lap you could.
Yeah, it's not easy to do around here, like we say. It was good to see you get your first win, though. Obviously, I know the second race didn't quite go your way, but a good handful of points tonight should help you in the championship. We go to Zandvoort next week. Now, do the guys think it's going to be a really good circuit? I reckon it's probably good for hot lapping, but do you think the racing's going to be easy for you guys trying to overtake around there?
No, wouldn't be able to answer because I've never driven a lap and I don't even know the layout. So
well, that'll
we'll see when we get into practice.
Oh yeah, well it's always
I'll
good.
do the same as I have done and just run so many laps. This track, like, it's over 400 laps for you in total in practices.
Wow.
So I'll just do the same. Keep doing the laps.
Fingers crossed the strategy works for you, mate. I can tell you, it's not my favourite of circuits, to be honest. It was the last. I own all the road circuits in iRacing, and it was the last one that I bought only about a month ago when I was broadcasting there. So it's not up there on my list of favourites, but it certainly is tricky, mate. So it's going to be interesting to see how you get on there. Fingers crossed you can pull it off, though, because if you've done 400 laps here, then well, I don't think it'll take that long to learn Zandvoort, but we'll see. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before you go, Ross?
Yeah, just thanks to Paul Godden at Simracersworld. Obviously helps me out quite a bit. I know I'm in the real world, so he's the one who got me started in sim racing, so big thanks to him. Cracking. And all the team for helping with practice and setups.
Awesome stuff, mate. Well, good to speak to you. Well done on your win tonight. I'm sure you'll be celebrating this evening wherever you can. Obviously, not going out, stay in the house, mate. But we'll speak to you again probably at Zandvoort then.
Brilliant. Cheers. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Bye.
And someone that I have to bring in, because why not? He's had a bit of a nightmare tonight, but Jack Werrell joins us in the chat. Jack, not a straightforward evening for you, was it, mate?
No, it was very, very up and down. Lots of either making a mistake and then pushing back up to the top of wherever I was sort of battling, and then I would get there and then either make another mistake or get caught out by maybe another driver, like race 1. It was completely my fault. I just sort of spun out of sympathy with Boland braking early because Josh Clark got a bad run out of Sterling's. So obviously those two were closing up, and obviously Boland's not going to hit the back of him, but obviously when I'm racing I didn't quite think it through and I just slammed on the brakes because he was braking early and it went straight into the wall. But yeah, it's been a very up and down evening, mainly down, but there's been a few little ups.
Well, fingers crossed. It's going to be a good round next time round because we're at Zandvoort. Now, I don't know how well you know Zandvoort. Ross Nicholson was just saying he's never done a lap there at all. What do you reckon it's going to be like trying to race there? Do you reckon it's going to be difficult, or is it going to be a case of just follow the guy in front and try and pressure him into a mistake?
It's going to be pretty much like line abreast for most of the race. I think it does provide good overtaking opportunities, but it's going to enforce discipline because it's quite a thin circuit, and with very little runoff, you've got to make sure you're either on it and you're just going to be pulling away from the guy behind and you've got the pace to get by the driver in front on one of the straights, or you're just going to have to, like you said, just pressure them into a mistake, because otherwise it's like the chance of an overtake presenting itself is going to be really slim.
Yeah, it's going to be focusing for everybody as they make it round, and well, whether they make it round or not is up to them. Fiercely Forward had a bit of a tough one overall tonight. Obviously, Taylor having a decent result in 6th at the end there. How do you boys feel? I mean, have you all spoken after that one, or is it going to be a bit of a tasty debrief this evening?
It will be a debrief. I haven't spoken to anybody yet. I'm sure we've all got our own opinions on what's happened this evening. I know I certainly do. There's a couple of bits I need to raise, but I think, yeah, it'll be a tough chat to have with everybody, but at the end of the day, there's no point getting disheartened or anything, because we're here for fun, and yes, if it doesn't go your way, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but there's always next round, so there's no point getting your head down about it. Just keep your chin up and look forward to the next round, get some decent team practice in and sort of put it behind us.
Well, hopefully you can do just that, mate. Before I let you go tonight, I just wanted to obviously say that I'm sure you're excited to work together on Friday again. I've been mentioning it during the broadcast with the Porsche Sport event. we're going to go through the prep tomorrow properly, trust me. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before you go, though, mate?
I think this evening these guys deserve a hell of a lot more than a shout out, because I've not been the greatest driver. But yeah, definitely. So all the Firstly Forward guys, anybody that has anything to do with Firstly Forward, all the sponsors, Ollie as well, just for keeping everything ticking over, and obviously SRW and you, because you really do make the stream and the service what it is. Thanks
very much, mate. Much appreciated, and I hope it goes well at Zandvoort. Obviously, I'll speak to you tomorrow anyway when we commentate, but until then, have a good evening, mate. We'll speak to you soon.
See you later.
Jack Werrell there of the Fiercely Forward team, bringing us to the end of our broadcast tonight. Thank you, everybody that has joined us. It's been another 2 fantastic races. As you've heard, we are at Zandvoort in 2 weeks' time. That's, again, going to be an amazing event. Really can't wait for that one. And that'll be coming live to you from 8 PM on the 7th of May. I've been Chaz Draycott, known to a lot of you as Chazlington. I've been your host tonight and will be in 2 weeks' time. Don't forget to join us on Simracersworld TV tomorrow night as well for the Porsche Sport 2 hours of Silverstone. It's going to be an incredible event in itself. And then on Sunday, we also have the virtual Belcar event. That's going to be around a 5-hour stream. 3 races coming up for you in that one, in one stream from the same circuit. So make sure you join us then. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you very soon.
Just letting go, your hold is turning. I feel you rushing through.